that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Hey. Good morning. Good morning. Hey. What's up, Facebook? What's up, Periscope? Good morning to y'all. Hey. Come on, tap that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. Ooh, baby. Good morning. It's Monday. Good morning. It's Monday. What's up, Mr. Bernard Robinson? I see you logging in here. I see y'all. Tap that screen. Tap that screen. What's up, Joe Jackson, the mayor of the Green Line, up in his piece? Hey. Please accept me for who I am. Please accept me for what I do. Because I'm the Algiers Diamond. What's up, Leonard? How you doing? Come on, tap that screen. What's up, Miss Lisa Dove, Washington? Good morning. Good morning to y'all. Let me get my life together. Today is Monday, April 30th, 2018. April went by fast. The winter April has gone by fast. It is a beautiful day outside. It's a little chilly in the D.C. metro area, but I think that it is warm down there in Louisiana. And my guest for this morning, again, Bernard Robinson, the third financial advisor, Robinson Wealth Advisors. Like they really are all of that in a bag of chips, and I can't wait to get to him today. So before I start anything off, y'all know how I love to do. Y'all need to swipe and invite on Periscope, and y'all need to tap that screen and share this thing out to everybody else on Facebook so we can get our audience together. But y'all know how I start everything off. You know what? Before I even get into that, can we talk about the White House Correspondents' Dinner that y'all president never goes to? Listen, if you can't laugh at yourself, if you can't laugh and make light of something, is definitely wrong with your narcissistic tail. Okay, something is wrong with your narcissistic butt. If you can't go and go somewhere to enjoy yourself and not talk business all the time, just go ahead on and just let your hair down. But I don't know if he can let his hair down, because y'all know that is just like a comb over. I don't know if he would ever let it. But for me, coming in, logging into my Twitter this morning and seeing how upset they are with the comedian. And it was a roast. It's a roast. That's what the White House Correspondents' Dinner is. It's a roast. They talked about George Bush when he was in there. They talked about Obama when he was in there. They talked about Bill Clinton when he was in there. They talked about the other Bush. That's what the White House Correspondents' Dinner is. It's a lighthearted night with fun. That's what it's the purpose for it is. Free speech, laughter. They put it into comedic form, so it can be funny, it can be light, it can be, and y'all can dance and eat y'all food and be entertained and all that stuff. And for your president, y'all's president of the United States to not come, but only want to tweet, and never tweeted anything about the 4 people that were killed at the Waffle House by the white boy who was going with Like, never tweeted anything about that, never stated anything about it, never gave condolences to the family, never talked about God. None of that happened. But as soon as you are, they're talking about me and they're talking about my people. You know what? I went to church yesterday, so I'm not cussing this morning. Not even in my head. Well, maybe just a little. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to y'all. Good morning. I lost my voice praising the Lord. Good morning to y'all. Hey, I hope you slept well because I prayed for you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to y'all. Good morning to Periscope. Good morning, Facebook. Good morning to Vernon. Good morning to Joe. Oh, I hope you slept well. Lisa Delka prayed for you. Leonard. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to Keith and all the people who are logging in. Good morning to you guys. It's a great morning. All right, now that I've got that, out of the way, today's show has been brought to you by the Queens Rising Movement. That's www.queensrising.com. You gotta check it out and see what the Queens are up to. Go to www.queensrising.com and see what it is that the Queens are up to at Queens Rising. And the show has been brought to you today by their movement. They were brought to you today by the Queens Rising Movement. Again, www.queensrising.com. All right. It's the birthdays, and I got a special shout out today for birthdays. But before I get into the special shout out, so I got Mr. Quincy Stevens. Mr. Quincy Stevens, how you doing, sir? Happy birthday to you. He was a special guest on my show. He has a new album out, and it is fire, and it is woke, and it is good. And so happy birthday, Quincy. Mr. Leroy Baby Sham James. Hey, Baby Sham in the house. I got it. He was also a guest on here with his clothing line. I got me some Barry Burrell from Baby Sham, a Flip Mode Squad. What's up, sir? Happy birthday to you. Mr. Christopher, I got 3 celebrities on here today. Christopher Allen is celebrating a birthday today. A very sweet guy. I love him. Miss Ingrid Degree is celebrating her birthday today, and another celebrity, Mr. Colby King is celebrating her birthday today, and another celebrity. Because let me tell you, if it wasn't for this dude right here, Mr. Cedric Sayer Warren, helping me film. He's one. He does filming for my comedy. He does and he's a man of so many great gifts and talents. He is also owner of We Coolin' DJs. He's a DJ. He has a WeCoolin.com. If you guys are in the DC, Maryland, Virginia area and you are looking for a DJ, he got the folks for you. Okay, he got an entire team and they be rolling. Okay, they're from New Orleans though. So if you ready for something that's gonna be from New Orleans, you gonna get that from Said and We Coolin' DJs. And also, he had my children fighting over his sauce because he's so saucy. The dude is saucy. He is the Cajun sauce boss also. Boom, a dab-a-doo. Happy birthday to my friend. That is my friend, okay? That's my friend. That is my friend, okay? I love him and I love his wife and I love his kids. Like, they be getting it. I love it. I love it. So, happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday to y'all. Happy birthday, everybody. Happy birthday to them. Now, I said, what's the #1 zodiac sign? Not yours, Quincy or Leroy. I said, what's that #1 zodiac sign? Not yours, Christopher, Ingrid, or Kobe. Is it Aries? No, said. Is it Pisces? No. Is it? I can't even remember the rest of them. See? That's how unimportant it is. Good morning, Amber. No, Vernell, don't do that. Gemini to yourself. Don't do that. It's not. Is it? Let me see. Y'all got Gemini. They have Cancer. there's Leo, there's Sagittarius, there's Aquarius, there's Capricorn, there's Pisces. I still haven't, there's Virgo. Still haven't said the number one zodiac sign. Vernell. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't even like you like that when you do that. Like we've been friends for a long time, like middle school to high school stuff. But don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't play yourself like that on my show. Not this morning. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. The number one zodiac sign is and always will be Libra. Now it is time for the spill. The spill. Yes, it is, because when we get into the spill, we get into our special guest for the day. Let's get it. Baby, let's go this time exactly what it is. What's the spill, what's the spill, what's the spill? Oh, what's the spill? Hey, what's the spill? What's the spill? Oh. What's the spill? What's the spill? What's the deal? What's the dealio? What's the happenings? What's the going on? What's popping off in the streets? Well, what's happening in these streets is I'm going to give the floor to Mr. Bernard Robertson the third, because this, if you did not know, again, this is Financial Literacy Month, and with a Financial Literacy Month, we have we've gone over so much these past few Mondays. You guys, when it comes down to it, we have to get ourselves together financially. We have to be very illiterate on what is coming down the pipe and what is going on in America. Because if you aren't financially illiterate, you will suffer. You will falter. You will fall by the wayside. You can't grow. You can't build a business. Everybody's always talking about building a business. I got to build this business. I want this business. But if you aren't financially literate, how can you build a business? You don't understand. You have to have an understanding for yourself before taking the steps out to possibly ruin yourself if you aren't sure. A lot of celebrities and a lot of people get themselves hoodwinked and bamboozled out of millions of dollars because of their financial illiteracy. If they are illiterate to what's going on, they are illiterate to the markets. They don't know anything about taxes. They don't know, and they fall by the wayside because they don't know how to make their money work for them after working for the money. And then they just put it into the hands of someone who is scheming and going to make money off of them without properly helping them become knowledgeable about what they have and who they are. I am waiting for my guests to come in on the screen. I'm waiting for Mr. Bernard Robertson to come in on this joint. But guys, you really need to be financially literate. We truly need to know what's going on. We have people that are in the White House, and they all about money. They are all about money. Right now, corporate America is running America. Corporate America is running America. Y'all complain about being gentrified. You complain about being gentrified. Oh goodness, let me get my life together. Jesus, I'm the one who made this mistake. I'm the one who made this mistake, Jesus. I need to get my life together. I'm sorry, Bernard. Bernard is like, I'm here, and I wasn't. So here we go. He will be in just a second. But again, corporate America is running America, and they are up to their Ponzi schemes. And the only way to do things the right way, and the only way that your business is going to grow, the only way that your business is not going to come under fire, is being financially literate in all things that matter for growth and all things that matter for, again, your well-being. You can't, you, there we go. There we go. See, because I was mumbling and stumbling and doing all that stuff. But here is Mr. Bernard Robertson the third. Here we go. I'm putting you up on a big screen, baby. There you go. Look. Oh, Lord. Yes. Yes for the grays and the beard. That means he is very much so. He ready. He ready. Can you hear me, Bernard? Can you hear me, Bernard? Yes? I can't hear you, though. Say something. Uh-oh. What's going on with our sound? What is going on with the sound? Oh, my gosh. Let me get it. I'm going to get it together. There we go. Can you hear me now?
I got you.
All right. There we go. There we go. Good morning, Bernard.
Well, good morning.
I like your beard. It shows wisdom.
Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna take that one.
You better. That's say good morning to everybody who's watching.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
What you got for us this morning, Bernard?
All right. So, as I said earlier, this is the last Monday in April. April is Financial Literacy Month. So we're going to kind of wrap up everything that we've been talking about throughout the month and start getting ready for the summer as we got graduations coming up. I've got one graduating as well. A lot of other people have some, so we're going to be tied up for a little while. But as we get ready for our summer vacations, we got a little bit of things that are right there in front of us before we start back with school and regular life in the fall.
Right.
But the first thing, we're still in spring, right? You mentioned it earlier. It's just now starting to get warm. Thankfully, you know, this is unheard of in April in New Orleans that the weather is this nice. We're usually a little bit warmer now, but while we're in spring cleaning, we want to take the opportunity to pull stuff together. So we've gone over estate planning. How do we get our finances together on the big picture level, making sure we've got everything titled properly, get beneficiary information together, make sure we have our wills and our power of attorneys in place. We've talked about our retirement savings and what that means for us and how we have to make sure the earlier we start, the better the outcome will be for us. We've talked about what the hot topic is out there in investment, what cryptocurrencies are,
yes,
and what other investments are. And then we talked about just what are general stocks, bonds, mutual funds, etc. So what does all of that mean? What it means is that if you're living in the U.S. as a U.S. citizen or a naturalized person, you've got assets. You've got a couple of accounts. You probably got something that you had as a benefit with an employer. You left it there. You were like, I'm going to just leave it there until I'm ready for it. Don't need to touch it now. It's growing. I get a statement from time to time. You look at it. That's fine. Or is it? Right.
Or is it? Right.
If it's at your former employer, you're leaving everything to chance with your former employer. You're not setting yourself up to be able to take control of it. Your former employer is not looking out for you. They're not making sure that your current investments are doing what they're supposed to. If there's a change in the plan or change in the account, they only have a responsibility to mail you a statement saying, here's what changes are taking place. You have the responsibility to act on those. So we're going to talk about consolidation. We're going to talk about going back out and finding all of the stuff that we have and actually knowing what it is that we own. So a lot of us have some life insurance benefits, whether we had our parents buy some life insurance for us when we were kids and they kept that going. Is it still valid? Is it still something that's a current policy, or did it end at age 25 or 28 like a lot of the juvenile policies do?
Right.
And are you recovered, or are your parents just still paying a premium on a dead policy? Do you have a policy that you had uh, purchased yourself, or do you have a policy that was a group policy that was a benefit through your employer?
Right.
All of these things are your assets and your benefits, and you need to be able to bring them all together to figure out what you own and what benefits that you do have.
Right.
So I always say, now that we've got taxes out the way, we need to start working on the next folder, which is what we own. You need to have a folder for your home, which is your biggest investment. So whatever mortgage you have on it, you need to make sure you have those documents in there. You need to have in that folder any information on your homeowners or flood insurance. And yes, people, even if you do not live in the flood zone,
Right.
you live in a zone that never really floods, any good insurance agent will tell you you still need to have homeowners and flood insurance.
Right.
Where it may not be required that you have it, a flood can happen anywhere, and chances of you getting any money to recoup your loss if you didn't have that insurance are slim to none. So look at that.
Well,
You also want to make sure if you're renting, you have
renter's insurance.
because
Yes.
that will protect you against loss where your landlord is not responsible for it. Your landlord is responsible for making sure the building just doesn't collapse. You're responsible for all of the contents within.
Right.
So make sure you protect yourself with that, and it's fairly expensive. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. So why do we want to consolidate our assets? Well, one, you work. You've got other things going on in your lives. You're not wanting to sit there and do what I do all day, which is stare at spreadsheets, stare at accounts, manage stuff to make sure that every dollar is in its right place.
Right.
You're going off doing something else. Allow the professionals to do this for you. That's what we're here for.
Because it keeps you out of jail. The professionals doing it keeps you out of jail.
Definitely. They keep you out of jail and they keep you from going broke.
Yes.
Right? That's what we're supposed to do. So what you want to do is you want to reduce the number of outstanding relationships that you have. If you've got to call more than 2 or 3 people to figure out what it is that you have, you've got too many people working on your stuff. If you've got an insurance agent that you had because they were a good friend and they're in, Atlanta because you moved there after college and now you're back in New Orleans and you're still using them as your insurance agent while they can do the policy for you, how much of your insurance coverage are they doing for you? Or do you need somebody that's more local?
Right.
If you're working with a bank and your bank was in Texas when you went to move there after Katrina, and now you're back in New Orleans and you're still banking with that bank, but you can't walk in that bank and meet with a personal banker.
Right.
Is it beneficial to you?
Right.
What if you don't have any direct relationship with the institution or with an account? It's just, it's online, or you get your statements and you're completely fine with that. Who's helping you track that? Who's helping you be accountable for what it is that you own? That's one of the things that you have to consider. So we want to make sure that we help you manage the time that you do have by pulling this together. It is a little tedious, but what it will do is during the spring cleaning time, it will help you understand what you own, why you own it, and do you want to continue to own it going forward.
There was one financial institution that I used to use. I use them for other things, but not my full banking anymore. A USAA, and that's because of me being in the military, right? And there's no physical location to go into, and that became a problem. And so I had to move myself into a banking facility that I could actually go in and talk to. And like you said, that's important. It was convenient not having, because it was online and you can go to these different things. But I really had to search for a particular ATM just to go to that ATM to actually take care of some business, you know, and that just wasn't. It wasn't good to have to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It wasn't worthwhile.
It wasn't worthwhile at all. I was
in those
spending a lot of gas.
situations, what I say is with my clients, we look at what's the best fit for you, and they may have a savings account that is going to be very beneficial to you. You don't need to go to the ATM all the time. So everything else we will consolidate and move away from them, but keep it linked to that savings account with that institution so that everything we can move back and forth. But we're being able to take care of the things that you need to walk in and see a person on a daily basis. You'll have that opportunity.
Right.
That's one thing. More importantly, what I always do is we look for ways to save money, right? We don't want to spend any more than we have to. So the more relationships you have, the more chances you have for annual account fees or annual management fees per account. So if you've got 3, 4, 5 different relationships spread out, you're paying 3, 4, 5 different annual account fees. Cut that. Put some money back in your pocket automatically by consolidating them down to 1 or 2. And that way, you'll be able to save yourself $30, $40, $50, $100, whatever it may be, and you increase the level of security that you have because you don't have as much data floating out there between the different entities.
Right.
So that's 2. We want to consolidate with the people that we have, but we also want to consolidate the types of accounts and how many accounts we have. We want to reduce redundancies because this is one thing that we come across a lot when we're looking. If someone has a 401k plan, and they have that at their employer, and then they have a retirement or an IRA account with someone like myself, or an investment account. We want to make sure that the more we can consolidate stuff, or the more we can share information with just 1 or 2 parties, the more knowledge that we'll have about what's in those other accounts. We don't want you to be investing in Apple in your 401k account, and then we're investing in Apple in your account with us as well. There's no need for that.
Right.
You're giving yourself double exposure to risk. So we want to reduce the level of risk that you have by making sure that we know what those assets are in that account as well as what we're doing for them.
One of the guests that are watching has a question. He says, "So my 401k, is that not important to have, or should I stop investing in that?"
No, absolutely. If you have a 401k through your employer, for one, you are blessed because not every employer offers that. Most employers don't. So you do want to take advantage of it. It benefits you for the ability to save for the future. It also benefits you with the ability to reduce your taxable income. So you're giving less money to Uncle Sam because you're going to pick that money up and collect it later after you retire.
Right.
But if your employer matches, and this is something that's important as well, if your employer provides a match, don't allow that money to go unused. If they match 1%, 2%, 3%, at least match their match to what they're doing. So if they're doing 1%, you should at least be doing 1% of your take-home pay to put in there. That way you're getting 2%. Some employers go up to the max, which is about 6%. If they do, I say build up to that, and where you can get comfortable, but fully take advantage of being able to match dollar for dollar in what they're putting in. So the fastest way to grow your money is that's out there. So good question. The next thing that we would want to look at is making sure that anything that you are currently attached to, whether it be an investment, it be an insurance policy, it be a CD, it be anything in your checking savings account, whatever it may be, that none of what you own is punitive if you want to leave. You should always be able to pack your suitcase and leave whenever you want if the relationship isn't working. You should not be beholden to a financial institution simply because you have a product or an asset that you have purchased through them or they are currently holding for you. All of them should be able to be, removed from that account and moved to a new service provider.
Right.
I want to look at that every year. If in the event that it does, start looking how to replace them. So it goes with your insurance too. I tell clients every year, January 1, start calling around and shopping your homeowners, your auto policies, because things have changed.
Really?
Market resets itself. The insurance may go down. The insurance may go up. You still want to find the best provider for you. There's no loyalty on that side. You're the customer, and the institution is the service provider. So they have to be willing to work and be proactive in providing you the best service possible.
I didn't know that.
You also want to make sure, if you can, take benefit of having your auto policy and your homeowner's insurance policy with the same company. Usually you get some break points or some discounts in that, but you also get the service, because now, as an agent, they're less willing to ignore your phone call or less willing to try to be as aggressive in pricing as possible because you have multiple policies with them. Same thing goes for your investment accounts. You have an investment account, a retirement account, you may have a 529 savings account with an investment firm like mine. Make sure that we're giving you the best bang for your dollar. Make sure that we're giving you the best pricing for the relationship.
Right.
You want to make sure you have that, because again, every dollar that you spend with us is less dollars that you have invested in growing. So
Right.
we want to make sure that we give you the best bang for your buck, because we want you to grow that money and be with us for a long period of time. Last but not least, when it comes to consolidating, we want to make sure that you are working with those that are very skilled at what they do. We like to say a little bit of alphabet soup behind your name. So you'll know that they have certain licensure or accreditations.
Like your alphabet soup. Tell me give me your alphabet soup.
We'll get to that later. But you want to do some research on them and look at that, because in doing so, they have different qualifications and how they can be able to help you. And they can make sure that whatever they're doing, they're using best quality, best available, and best practice. And what those are, you want to make sure that not just the big name companies, because there are some big name companies that are not as good at providing services or products to you as smaller companies. So size is not the thing. And don't go off of advertising either, because obviously if they're spending a lot of money on advertising, they're passing that fee on to you.
Right.
It's on to you. Go off of databases. Go off of their reports. Do a little due diligence again. Do a deep dive and find out what they're able to provide and what their strengths are. If they can't easily answer your questions or don't answer your questions at all about how to best consolidate, how to best be competitive for your dollars, chances are they wouldn't be a good fit for you to begin with.
Right.
So it helps you not pick bad products or be locked into anything that won't be beneficial to you for the long term. So in a nutshell, what we want to do is start pulling all of those documents. I recommend that people take them, and if you're getting a statement a month, you're getting a statement a quarter, take them and create a little 3-ring binder. Punch some holes in it, take your statements, put your statements in there. Anything you get, correspondence you get from that service provider, you want to put them all together. And then bring that binder with you on a regular basis when you meet with them. It's once a year, twice a year, whatever it may be. When you meet with them, bring that binder and go over what your statements are, because you should know how to read your statements. They should be able to explain your statements to you, and you should be able to go back through the other 4 steps that we were talking about and ask, why do I have separate this? Can I consolidate that? Can we reduce fees here? Always do that. Right. So that is what we want to go over in a nutshell. If there are any questions about that, feel free to reach out now. You can reach us at robertsonwealthadvisors.com. As I said before, you can give us a call here, 504-304-9593, and we can go over a number of things with you. But one other thing that I wanted to point out before we get out of here was that if we're looking at what's going on in the markets, companies are consolidating, and
Yes.
I
Yes.
mentioned this up earlier. Companies consolidate for the same reason why you should consolidate.
Yes.
You want to reduce their costs. One of the big ones was Sprint and T-Mobile.
You're right.
Now, Sprint and T-Mobile are coming together because they want to compete with Verizon. They want to compete with AT&T, who have huge market shares. How can they do that if they're the smaller companies? They can't do it because of cost. They want to reduce their costs, so they form a company together, right? Why wouldn't you do the same for your personal finances, where you're trying to compete and grow your money, and you've got it separated and spread out everywhere else?
Too many places.
Too many places, right? If you aggregate those dollars together, they grow a lot faster than if they were in separate pools. Now, that's not saying put all your eggs in one basket, because you can diversify within a single
Diversify
account.
your portfolio. See, I've been studying. Ah!
But you still want to be able to reduce the fees. You want to reduce the cost of making that growth. And so we go with that. I see one person asked, what's the difference, whole life or term life insurance? My opinion, I actually recommend both for clients. I'm not going to say specifically one is better than the other, because it all depends on me. I like to use myself as an example. I have both policies. I have a whole life policy because I'm protecting assets that I accumulate over time.
Okay.
And I want to pass on to my kids, right? I want to make sure that if something happens to me, that insurance will replace not only my income, but it will guarantee that as I pass those assets to my kids don't have to come out of pocket and say, I'll pay the taxes to Uncle Sam on it.
Right.
And then spoke about inheriting Big Mama's house or Medea's house. Most of the time, we lose those assets and lose that wealth is because Big Mama Medea didn't have a life insurance policy. She had a burial policy. And that burial policy was not enough to put her in the ground, as well as cover the taxes on her estate.
That's right.
So we end up losing the estate to the government. They've got a lot of adjudicated properties simply because of taxes. And we don't want some, developer or somebody who's coming in with a quick flip to get our, bread and butter, what we've put so much into, for paying $5,000 in taxes. Instead, the whole life policy is there to help with your estate and make sure you can pay it. Now, term life policy is to make sure that you can basically cover your immediate needs right now, loss of income, and cover any debts that you may have. So typically you'll get a term policy maxes out at 30 years, especially if you're under the age of 45, 50. You can get a policy that will go 30 years, but that's to guarantee that if you got a mortgage, you got car notes, credit cards, you're working right now, should something happen to you, that policy would kick in and take care of wiping out those debts. So those of your beneficiaries, your spouse, your kids, family members, whoever, don't have to sit there and put together a GoFundMe to pay off your debts and to bury it.
Right.
Right. All right.
Yeah, there were some questions. I saw a lot of shares, and that's a good thing, because that means the information is good and people are taking it and they want to share it, and that's very important to me. That not putting all your eggs in one basket is important. I listen. I know my trying to diversify, and make things a little bit easier for my family if something does happen to me, or trying to explain this types of stuff. My parents watch you, Bernard. They watch because sometimes they don't want to listen to their own children. But they will listen to somebody like you, and they'd be like, I learned so much. And I'm thinking, I just told you that, but it's all right that they getting it from you. I got a little salty.
It's a little different when it's coming from a third party. My toughest clients are my parents.
Oh, wow. Yes, I believe it.
Because I'm their advisor and their child. And they always feel as though they know more than me.
Yes.
But what's imperative is that we start with what I call peer advocacy. We need to make sure that we're just not here listening to this for our own benefit. We need to be listening to this, taking notes, and then sharing it within our community, because we are very financially illiterate, and it's hurting us.
Yes, it is.
Before. Our wealth over 40 years has not grown in the African American community, and that's sad. We've had more people become richer, but we've also had the average family become poorer. And most of it is because of a lack of information. We think that we have no other choice but to work until we die, or we have no other choice but to work until we can collect Social Security.
Right.
That is not necessarily the truth. We have assets. Unfortunately, we don't do enough to grow those assets. We don't take the value of the black dollar.
That's right.
And of course, it's not just speaking to us as African Americans, but Americans as a whole. We're becoming a poorer nation on the mass scale, where we are having fewer people become even wealthier. So what is it that is making them wealthier? It's knowledge, it's information.
Yeah.
They talk about it on a daily basis. They have cable news networks dedicated
to just
and
money talks. Yes.
My colleagues in this industry get calls, sit on the couch, at the conference table with their clients on a regular basis to talk about their money.
Yeah.
Whereas the average person thinks, I don't have anything, so I don't need to come see you. Going to this party is more important. Getting this for my kid is more important.
Arguing about the money team money. Okay, I'm just saying he walk around around with $1 million on him everywhere he goes. Now when I get there, Bernard, when I get there, you're going to have to really help me. But we want to get there, too. You know what I'm saying? You got to build to be foolish like that.
The thing is, and I'm glad you brought that up, because professional athletes are near and dear to me. Being a former professional athlete myself, and having watched the NFL draft this weekend, I'm always excited for those guys who have put up some hard work and put forth some hard work and have gotten the opportunity to move to the next level.
But you don't want people to tear their money down.
About them falling in that trap and looking at the money team and the guys that came ahead of them and things that they do, because that can be the direct path to going broke.
Yes, it is. And there's a lot of former NFL, former basketball players, former boxers, former everything that have lost out majorly because of their financial illiteracy. And I know that you help current guys in the NFL get themselves together, and that's a blessing.
Right.
Because you can see it up in their family eyes. They automatically.
We family. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
We're supposed to share this information with each other, and my ultimate goal is not to run around saying I've got this guy, I'm representing him, or I've got this guy on my roster. I'm not an agent. My job is to come in and say no.
Yes.
That's the most powerful word that I tell my guys. No.
Sometimes you gotta get told no.
Right.
You're accountable. You're an accountability. Go ahead.
Then I'll shut up.
Go ahead.
I got really interested in becoming a financial advisor when I had a former teammate of mine right after the draft. We're all flying into Chicago. We all just got drafted, and we all got a little bit of money in our pockets that we didn't have a couple of days ago, right? And we're coming in, and we're kids. I was 20 years old, so you're still very wet behind the ears and what you're going to do with life, and you're going to make some dumb decisions that happen, right? I went out, and the first thing I did was plan a graduation party for myself and my college teammates. Spent a little coin there. That was fine. As we moved up the draft chart all the way up to our first round pick, the expenditures got a lot more expensive, to the point where we had a guy who, bought some cars. Didn't have a house yet. And
Cars, plural?
So didn't have a house yet, so he needed a garage for those cars. Well, he bought 6 cars, so we had to go and find a house that could hold 6 cars, and he did. And nothing is wrong with buying that house if you've got it. One of the things that irritated me the most, I saw my kids brought to me a video of a kid named Little Pump. I don't even know who he is. He bought a $4 million house just because he was bored. And to me, if you're not even on the scene all the way yet, you're not even established to the point where you've got fallback money or fallback plans. You go out and spend $4 million for a house, or you just got into the league and you go out and spend $4 million for a house so you can park the 6 cars that you spent $1 million on. None of that spells longevity.
Right, because you can't keep it up. You can't even put no groceries up in there.
You have to continue to work for that money at that level for the rest of your life to maintain that lifestyle. And unless you cross over into, the 8, 9, 10-figure range, you're not going to be able to do so.
Right.
And even rich people get in trouble and lose their money over the time.
Yes.
Lifestyles necessitate, constant inflows of money.
You have to continue as upkeep. You talked about your buying. We talked about buying homes a couple weeks ago when you said you have to really think about the cost of that home and the cost of upkeep. And most people don't think about the cost of upkeep when they just want to buy it, but they don't talk about the improvements or the things that might having to get a new roof. Gardening can be expensive. You know what I'm saying? Just things like that. Just the regular stuff that they don't realize. I gotta keep this. I gotta keep the lights on, and I have to keep the water running in this $4 million house, and that's all I really had. I only have $100,000 left. You know what I'm saying? They don't think about that.
Right, and so it's a cautionary tale. I mean, eventually that guy sold that house. Who knows what's going to happen with this kid, Lil Pump? But what I'm telling our audience, and what I'm telling my clients and those guys that have been blessed to move to the next level and see their dreams come true, is moderation and patience with everything.
Yes.
So are you going to get a car? Absolutely. Go out and buy you a car. But don't go buy a Bugatti the first thing out the gate, right? Work up to it.
I just woke up in a Bugatti. No, okay. All right.
If you didn't have a house before, I get it. You want to buy a house. You may want to buy your mom's a house. Y'all never had this before. Absolutely. Go after it. But don't go from, living in the projects or living in a Section 8 house or living in rural America in, a small place to living in the suburbs in a 10-bedroom mansion, and you're trying to figure out how you're going to keep that up going down the road. It's not easy.
It's not
feasible.
It's not
in the long term. So slowly build up to it, because those expenses, like you brought up earlier, will eat you alive.
It surely will. Thank you, Bernard, so much. You've been great today. I know that I've learned a lot, and I know that the viewers have learned a lot also. This Financial Literacy Month would not have been great if it wasn't for you. You are totally educating us, educating the masses, and you're doing what I believe that God has called you to do. I know what you've you know, how you move from one area to another in order to be able to help our people. And God is going to continue to bless you for it. And He's going to continue to grow you for it. I'm just thankful for you. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening and a blessed and abundant week. You go get some.
You won't do the same.
All right. Be great and be blessed, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Let me get Bernard off here so he can go and do some work. Guys, thank you all for watching. This has been a Money Monday with your girl, Algiers Diamond, on I'm Just Saying, with my guest, Mr. Bernard Robertson III, with Robertson Wealth Advisors, LLC. It's pinned in the comments section. Guys, you be great, you be wonderful, be blessed. Remember, you woke up this morning, you woke up with a purpose. Walk in your purpose. Ask God to guide you in your purpose, and it will be perfected. If I taught you something new today, if we taught you something new today, we did our jobs. If we made you smile today, just we did our jobs. We're just asking you to do your job by hitting that share button, swiping invited on Periscope, and hit that share button right there on Facebook so the masses can get this information. We if we don't share and the knowledge is out there, you're just hurting someone who probably needs it. Be a great person and share. This girl is about to go. Y'all have a wonderful day. I'll talk to y'all on tomorrow. And wherever you at, whatever you're doing, I just need y'all to give me some shoulders.